Figuring out your artist identity, I believe, is one of the most important steps in your music career as an independent artist. But how do you know when you've actually found it? In today's video, I'm diving into all this with Luciane Dom, a multilingual singer, songwriter, and producer from Rio de Janeiro who's part of a powerful new wave of contemporary artists. Her work dives into themes like the Black diaspora, feminism, empowerment, and emotional self-reflection, and she brings it all into her art with so much intention. In this episode, Luciane walks you through the key moments that helped shape her artistic voice, from how she started standing out to what authenticity really means to her in today's competitive musical landscape. She also shares the mindset shifts that help her stay aligned with her purpose. I believe that Luciane's story and journey is a powerful reminder that defining your artist persona isn't a one-time discovery. It's a process of becoming. It's a process of mastering who you are as a human being over time. So now, without further delay, let's jump right into the conversation. Your artistic identity. So, was there a defining moment where you realized who you were as an artist? So a moment that you said, so this is who I want to be.
hmm I think since I was a kid, I was listening to like many songs. You know, my father has like vinyls in our house. So I was listening to that songs and just vibing with that. And I have two sisters older than me, and we were like harmonying like the musics we were listening together. And then that was just powerful, see how the melodies goes through, like how we can connect to that songs. And like I think it was just this, like listening to music, feeling that songs or that vibration together make a lot of sense. I couldn't be without music. I couldn't, I'm nobody without music, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. And what kind of music were you listening to at the time?
hmm That time,
Was there a particular genre, or maybe it was everything?
I think most jazz, soul, but also my parents, they are Christians. So they listen to a gospel music, the Brazilian gospel music, and also gospel American music. So we listen to Kirk Franklin. We in Brazil we call him Kirk Franklin, but the Kirk Franklin, I think is,
Yeah.
um, yeah. But and Ron Canoli.
Mm.
So we have like a vinyl of like also Aretha Franklin, um, many artists, but like I was listening most like jazz and gospel music. I like, even if like my music has a lot of harmonies, I do harmonies myself in the songs. I think it's because of this, I was like very used to listening to this and also share voices, like sharing voices with my sisters too. And then it became a very, very cool habit. Habit makes
Wonderful
sense?
habit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Habit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And how was, Lucian, how was the transition from someone who, was passionate about music to someone who was, you know, who you, I mean, imagine yourself starting, to say things like, oh, maybe, I can transform this into something more than, a passion. How was that, transition? And um, is there a moment that you remember for example, still today, where you are like, I want to do more than that. Maybe, something that I can say, this is going to be my work.
Mhm. You know what? My mother, like when in the past, I was singing all the time in my house. Oh, let me know before if there's a dog in front of my house. It's better if
Okay.
I have, like headphones maybe or the audio for you.
No, no, it's okay, Lucian. There's no problem.
Okay. So I have headphones here near to me.
Okay, okay.
I think I'll put this because it's too loud. Let
Please
me
do.
see.
Yeah.
Cute, but is let me see. Okay, have this. Mhm. Um, hello, hello.
Yes.
Better. Much better. So, I think the change when I was a kid, I was telling you about my mother. My mother was all the time saying, Luciane, can you stop just 10 minutes to sing just because I need to study? And like she was studying and I was singing loud like all the time, like if I wasn't in the school, I was, home singing and listening to music. My mother was like, Luciani, give me just 10 minutes. And then I like, okay, I will stop. And then she was like, no, do it. Keep going, keep going. I'll change the room. Like, and then she had an idea before me because I couldn't be like quiet. I know music is about silence too, but I was just expressing myself. And the best way to express myself was into music.
Right.
So, and she was like, she knew it before me. When I was like around 16 or 17, I was thinking about college and I said, "Hey, mother, I'm gonna go to college, and I'm going to study history." And she was like, "No, why don't you choose music or law?" Because she was like, "You like to communicate. You have you are following the right. So you have like, I think you it's good for you if you have law or music, because music is your path already. You do it, you can't stop." And then I was, no, I'm very unsure. I think history, I love history too. I'm very, I like to read about things that I don't know or I don't have any idea. So was good that I choose in the end I choose history to study, and it of course changed my entire life. But music was guiding me since I was in college as well, because when I was doing college, we have like in the college we had this academic centers. Sometimes the students were there just to wait for like another class, so they take like 15 minutes or an hour, and then I were there and I met a guitarist there. His name is Pablo. He was like, Luciani, I have a guitar here, let me play you. I like bossa nova, I like jazz. And then he was playing, I'm like, oh, I think I can sing this. And he was like, oh, do you sing? I'm like, yeah, I do backing vocals, like backing vocals for like in my church or like when I was Christian. And then he was like, "Oh, let's try." So we we just start to have like I just vibing in the center, in
Yeah.
the academic center. And then one day he was like, Luciane, can you do like, can you go to like, we have, how do you call it when you have like, you invite different singers to see which one is better for your band. We have
An audition. Yeah.
audition. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same in Portuguese, audição, as I
How
say.
to sell. See,
Oh
see.
yeah. So he had an audition, and then I was like, "Ah, I can go there." I was singing, and they were like, "Oh, do you really know how to sing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like to do backing vocals." And then he was like, "But can you lead?" I'm like, "I don't think so." But the first rehearsal, like we have, and they were like, "No, you can lead." So around 2011, I was leading a band calling the name of the band is Black So Frevo
Mm.
is and then was amazing. I was starting to study Brazilian music, like the roots in Brazil for real, like not just the gospel or not just the American jazz. So I was listening to like frevo, maracatu, Ijexá, MPB, like Brazilian popular music. So I was learning a lot in this band. And then after that, I was like, no, I think my mother was right. If I was going to college, like maybe I had like a different view of the entire music in Brazil or the or more genres in Brazil. But history gave me the possibility to study about the history of music in Brazil. And I met incredible musicians in the history college because they used to go to the center, to the academic center. And then I was going to other college to perform with these musicians. So, and then the band existed, like Black Soul Frevo that time. So I was just, moving everywhere. And I think it was my diaspora, my music
Wow.
is about diaspora. And that was my little diaspora when I was moving from my hometown, because I'm not from Rio de Janeiro. I'm from Paraíba do Sul, a very, very small village in the state of Rio. And I did this diaspora. I was like, let me see how is the life in the big city. And then I was meeting different people because in my city, because it's so small, we used to see the same things regular. And it's just the music there is very similar, is more about gospel music or sertanejo. And then when I came to Rio, I saw like something like completely was huge. Like the city is big. The exchanging the culture exchanges is
Right.
absolutely big
Yeah.
too. And then I was studying more. When I came to Rio, I think was my switch. I was like, I think I will finish my college because I love history too. But I'm gonna study more music or do more research. And then I became a researcher in music. That's what I do till now. Even if I'm not in the academy right now, but I do. I you know, when you want to know about different cultures, you can't stop, right? So
It is.
in 2015, I met the Davidson Larindo is actually my drummer and my partner in music. Um, and then, oh, also, I forgot to tell you this. In that time in 2011, the band was playing um, cover music. We were not doing the like straight cover. We did our versions of the music, but having the roots like the frevo, maracatu, all the genres. But around that time, my friend who invited me to be in the band, he was like, Luciani, do you compose too? I was that in that time. No, I don't. And then in 2015, when I met my drummer, he did the same. He asked me the same question, like, do you compose too? And I told him, no, actually, no. But he saw my books that I have many poetries with melodies. And then he was like, listen, are you sure? Because you were singing your music in the jam session. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a composer. Because being a composer, I think here is very, I don't know, it's kind of fancy culturally. The word composer,
Mm.
uh, it was more out of my reality. Because when you see composers in Brazil, you know, Tom Jobim was a composer, Chico Buarque, Gilberto Gil. So I wasn't looking at myself as a composer. I wasn't thinking that what I was doing already, like creating the melodies and the lyrics, that was songwriting, you know, that was a composition when I was playing. And
Impressive.
because I,
Yeah.
yeah, I have like, I used to play little keys. So, and then in 2015, David Songwriting said, Luciane, you are a composer, you are a songwriter, you have your own music and your own style in music, because it's not similar to other things that I'm listening. I'm like, oh, okay. Around that time, uh, I post a video on YouTube of one my songs that I wasn't being a composer, but I was, playing these songs in the theater. And then my friend said, Luciane, this song, other friend from, his name is Elton Luz. He actually lives in Canada now. And then he asked me, Luciane, that is your song? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, this is a song that I had like many years, but I'm singing this now. And then he's a video maker and an amazing artist director. He said, Luciani, this music is beautiful. The video is beautiful, but please take it out because there's not quality in the video. I want to do your music video. I think you need to have it. You need to register this moment, but in a like higher level. But I'll never record my music before. And then that year, I met Davidson. Elton was saying this, no, I'm gonna record it. And then I was like, and also I have like one of other friends, Rodrigo Ferreira. He's a bassist and arrangement, like he do arrangement too for other
Okay. Yeah,
bands.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, Luciane, I think you have many songs. Let's put this together." And we have we had the idea of recording an album. I had no idea who I was like before, like that was my music. And also I have all the chords, the style, but I wasn't seeing myself as like an artist. I was just singing. I and then these three people helped me to develop my art. So we start together. Like Elton came, we did like he said, Luciani, I want like at least record two songs in the studio. I was in studio just recording backing voices for other artists, and then that was my first time doing my own music in the studio. I was there. Rodrigo did the arrangement. Davidson was playing drums, and then we invite other friends, um, and we were just recording. We record one, two, three. had no idea, but like that time I had like many songs, but we record 7 or 8 songs. And then he was like, I think we have an EP or an album. Let's check this. And we did the mix, the mastering. A year later, I met Sabi. And then I saw that I was like, oh my God, I really have content. Or
Yes.
not content just to do something sometimes, but something to, to build a path in music. And then I record
Amazing.
the album. I record the album. My friend came from all the way from Canada to record us. We did a beautiful music video. Like and that was just the 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 change. But I couldn't really have like the plan. I was just going. I was, I had my friends, they support me. Rodrigo was asking me, oh, what is the chord? Are you sure is this chord? Let me see. And he was playing, yeah, this is the chord. But the groove, you think is a shot, you think is this or that. And then we did this. I that time is the crazy things also is I was studying in college, so I had no my way to make money uh was just in college doing researches, and there's a very little money. I record my album maybe with less than $200. I was just like, what? uh, Doing something in my home, going like everywhere and recording in different studios. So we had the idea of the song and all of everything, but we don't have the money to do it because since I
Mm.
was just in college, but it happened. I
But
think
you made it.
when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
when I think about this, I think it was very powerful the time. And then how I was just working hard, more in college and also outside, I was like, oh, I need to record more voices for other artists. So I was, working hard, and I put this outside.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Lucian. And
Oh,
there is one thing because while I was listening to you, there's a common denominator between uh, not within your journey, you know,
hmm
trying to understand your path in
hmm
music, which is this word roots, because it sounds like the care you have for example understanding the roots of Brazilian music, and also your roots, and also studying history at university is something very present within you, something that
hmm
you really care about. And so how, for example, have your cultural roots shaped your artistry, shaped your journey in music so far? Why is
hmm
that important for you?
Uh, I think it's everything. If you don't know where you are from, you don't know where you are going. Uh, or you don't have idea what you can do, if you don't know your roots. Um, I grow up, uh, I met my great grandmother, the mother of my grandmother, right? So, and I live with her like until she died when I was 15 years old. she was 104 years. And then she was talking about her history. The reason
Incredible.
I do history is because of her. She was talking about slavery. I, you know, I was a kid, but she was saying things that now I understand. But she was talking about slavery. She was talking about to survive and keep her culture, like the things that her mother teach her or her grandmother, teach her.
Yes.
So she was very, she have like you know, something in her eyes talking about her history. But when she was talking about the slavery, she she had like so much more feelings to share that just not said. It's like the slavery for her or for for everybody, I think, was like you was losing, or you would people was the colonizers, they were trying to keep your history far from you, because she born in Brazil, but not her mother, and she was like indigenous and black.
Right.
And so when she knows about her history. And I think even if like she when she born, the slavery was ending, very, that wasn't true until like we 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 still uh part of, we still feeling the slavery till now in Brazil.
Yeah.
But she was explain me this so many things, and also how she was surviving into the jungle, how she was, how can you do medicine? She was teaching my mother, she was teaching my grandmother, you know, which plants do you need to have to, you know, to heal, or and you need to walk a lot, you need to have your muscles right. She was talking and teaching so many things. And I was just looking at her when she died. Before she died, she she wrote our roots and our family roots. So she had like, oh, I have a son here who had other sons. She did it herself when she was 100 years. So her memory, everything. She was traveling from Minas Gerais to Rio de Janeiro alone in the age of 100. So
Wow.
that was just,
I don't know the distance between two cities, but just the fact of,
oh, it's like the city she was before is Leopoldina in Minas. It's like to go to to Rio de Janeiro, to the city is like 4 hours, or 4 hours driving now. So in the past, oh my God, in the buses, like maybe 6 hours. She was there alone. Sometimes they just, oh, where's great grandmother? And then every that time we don't have like cell phones, right? So everybody trying to find her. And then um my grandmother was calling her sister in Rio, and, oh, hey, do you saw our mom? Like, and she was like, oh, she's here. She actually just arrived. So she was just going there. She was going everywhere. And imagine this, like everybody, oh my God, where's great grandmother? Like, and she was by herself. A very good memory, uh, super strong. And it is my, like, I saw her, and also like I was looking at her and looking at when I see. like my grandmother or my mother, I see like, oh my God, this is so powerful. When I saw my grandfather, so powerful. This is something I have that is unique. Many people don't have this opportunity. Many people don't know sometimes the grandmother or the mother or the father. So I had a big privilege, knowing her and knowing and listening to her, things that she was like, teaching how to take care of plants or, education, all these things.
I love the fact that you mentioned the this word, the unique, because
Very
I think
unique.
uniqueness is something that is really connected to understanding, our roots, and also another thing that I wanted uh, to discuss with you in this beautiful exchange, Lucian. Thank you for that. Um, which is creating your artistic persona, your identity, because you have a clear identity. So the first time I started diving into your story, reading interviews about yourself, is the fact that so the question of race is something very present within you, within your lyrics.
Mhm.
So the two keywords are black and identity. So there's a
Yes.
very clear understanding of how you want to position yourself in your fans' minds, and I think this comes down to the the old thing of finding your uniqueness as an independent artist. For example, one of the common statements that we all hear in today's musical landscape is that the music industry is saturated, which is something I don't believe in, to be honest, because I believe that there's no saturation with artistic representation. Not two artists have the same exact life experiences, emotions, thoughts,
Yes.
reflections, and
Mhm.
that, I think, is what keeps your art meaningful. So that's why I believe that for every independent artist out there, finding their own thing, their own one of a kind, is something really important when connecting to
Mhm.
industry professionals or when showing others their their thing, their
Mhm.
uniqueness. And so based upon that, because you have a uniqueness, which is your story, Lucian, the things you mentioned before, the your themes within your lyrics and within you, um so for independent artists, how that trying to build their own artistic identity, which is, I mean, you uh, better know than anyone, which is something that takes time. Where
Takes
should they
time.
start? So what would be for you the first step? What would you suggest them to start understanding more about their own uniqueness?
I think you need to believe yourself, believe in what you do, and be very careful in who you bring to your people, who you have with, like who build like who can support you in a band or record with you. You need to have the right people. Um, Sometimes, for example, nowadays it's very common to imagine if I'm singing here on a cappella, and then I'll probably see people, oh, imagine this in a beat, like all thinking like, oh, imagine this with like a electronic beat to touch. Well, people, they are very they listen to electronic music all the time. I'm not saying anything about electronic music, please. Don't get me wrong, I love electronic music, but nowadays, for example, all these R&B um, vibes or loops that you can pick on online on YouTube or type beat better, like the better word is like, for example, using type beat. The music will be very similar if you just try to put your idea in something in a type beat. If you have an idea that is very like, imagine your music can be in the time 4/4 or 3/4 or 5/4, like how you can, why are you trying to put your music in a box that everybody knows more, they listen to more. It's more common to listen to like a beat here in Brazil. I'm talking about this because it's like, I think it's a discussion. It's a very popular discussion nowadays. Um, People are not really creating or being free in their arts. Like most artists, they just see what Beyonce was releasing last year. So I think I have a song. I'm gonna do a song similar to. Sometimes you're not. You don't. Your music doesn't. That's not similar, or your vibration, your what you wanna talk, or the lyrics. Um, I personally think that you need to believe yourself. And it was hard for me. I'm not saying that is easy because sometimes you see, oh my God, my music is not pop or is not, don't gonna play in this radios or that radio, but will play in the radio that is similar to your music.
Mm,
If you believe in the path, you your music you can build your audience, and the audience have you can be in different places with your music. I think my music is a fusion. So if you try to put me in a box, even like my music, I do Brazilian music because I think I'm in Brazil and I'm singing mostly in Portuguese. But um, I was listening to Nigerian music, Ghanaian music, Colombian music. I was traveling to Colombia, to Chile, um, to Canada, hanging with Haitians. I was in the States talking to Dominican. The neighborhood that I was living was Dominican, listening to a lot of bachata. So my music is Brazilian because I carry my culture in my music, but it's also a fusion,
yeah.
you know. It's what I'm learning from these cultures too. And the reason why maybe is like what I do is something that you can't put in a box is that I'm able to have this I, I'm able to take the to have the situations in my life into my music. When I went to
Yes.
Puerto Rico,
Very
I
interesting.
was I was
Interesting.
listening to the music in the streets. I was like, oh my God, I'm in Puerto Rico. People are like speaking Spanish with me. The music sounds like something similar to my state, to my hometown. So not in Rio the city, but my hometown have like similar pattern. What is that? This is African music, I know, or and also indigenous music. But the roots in Puerto Rico, they were colonized by Espanyols, right? And we in Brazil, we were colonized by Portuguese people. So it's a little different, but I can see something similar.
Mm, yeah.
It's like I was trying to find this. What is that? Why is similar and sometimes it's very different? Why is this? So I think this is the reason my music is different to people. Even in Brazil, they consider it, they put me in when people talk about music and then the industry try to fit you in a box. My music is um contemporary Brazilian. I think it's this. It's like música brasileira contemporânea.
Música
Con
brasileira contemporânea, sim.
yes. I don't know
But
how
it's
to trans.
very, but it's very interesting what you're saying, Lucian, because and it sounds like the point that you are emphasizing is this. Of course, people can recognize your artistic identity through your type of music, which is contemporary Brazilian music, but most importantly, through the themes within it, which is the
Mhm,
question of race and black identity. Um, so that's why I think, and I would love to know your thoughts, around this
mhm,
thing. um, the uniqueness, the artistic persona doesn't necessarily mean your music or your genre, but I think most importantly can be your live performance style or the topic
absolutely.
itself. So what does defining that for you mean? So what does defining your uniqueness and your artistic persona mean to you based on your experience, Lucian? Because that's the
Mhm,
way so that's how I see your musical identity, let's say, yeah, artistic persona.
mhm. Like you want a word to resume it, or it's more this,
Yeah, it's
or
more how, so if you were in front of an independent artist trying to, understand his own unique thing, do you think it's more about the music, or it's more about finding that particular aspect of uh, the person that can be
mhm.
different than anyone else?
I think it's more about what you are able to listen to. Like in my case here, I listen to Brazilian music and I listen to other 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 musics, and it will change who I am. It will change what I like also and what I'm into, to study, to vibe. What make you, you don't need to be if you want to be creative, I mean, you don't need to be very attached to a genre because you can struggle on this. You can do like you can be a R&B artist and do a rock and roll music. It's possible. But you need to be like make sense why I'm doing this and why this particular song maybe is about this.
Mm.
And then, for example, in my music, sometimes I'm talking like, for example, I have a song called Madeira e Sal. Madeira e Sal, the lyrics is talking about a boat, like a black African women in a boat with many of many other like African people. You're just talking about, the colonizing or this, um, this traveling to Brazil, this the you know how you call it. Let me see here. Like I'm using my Google
Yeah,
Translator
yeah.
just really quick. Um, mm, Yeah, it's this. I already said that. I was talking about the boat who like the boat that brought the slavers here in Brazil. So the music, when I was thinking about the song, when I was creating the melody and the lyrics, I did this like a Ijexá in my mind. Was a Ijexá. Eu vim roubado da minha terra, eu vim. Sem roupa, realeza, fome. How I was singing was a Ijexá, and I was playing the chords on that song. And then when I was in the studio with my like with Hilarindo and Rodrigo, we saw that it's beautiful if it's a Ijexá. I have like many Ijexás, but also I was trying to think about the rhythm of this person in the boat. So I was trying to think about who I was talking about. And then I was like, oh, it may be a Ijexá, but maybe something different. And if you think about the boat in the water, so the music you feel like don't have you feel like just floating. Like you feel you don't have like a very when you are doing some music like in fourth, and if it's like a pop song, you have like one, two, three, four. One, you have an idea, of the pattern and this.
Yes.
In Madeira e Sal, the song, of course, we have the pattern there, but it's a vasi. Vasi is a rhythm like an Afro rhythm in Brazil from candomblé, and then it was guiding the entire song. You have when you move your body, you feel the rhythm, and you feel that you are like dancing if you are in a boat, like as you are in a boat. So if I pay attention in the genre, I'll be just doing like, my music need to be this genre. But no, look at the experience thinking about how it was, what they felt, what that people felt in the boat, how was the feeling, and also I was describing it in the lyrics, and that was very, very, very. I love this song. It's talking about something very, very hard. Um, Talking about the past, because we already we also don't know still don't know where in which parts in Africa like we are from, because the government in the past they burn all the documents about
Yes.
the slavery. So I was just thinking how is the feeling, how where my family from, maybe what rhythm the person will be like having in their body. So it's an experience about like think deep, not just thinking of genre. It's like what the word is saying, like what the expressions you have in your music is, what is that, what do you want to talk? I have a rock song too. And the rock song is more about like, oh, the rock and roll here I know everywhere, like you can talk about like uh, anything in your music, but here is about in general has a lot of fights, to the rights in the rock and roll music. But here in Brazil, people don't know rock and roll is black, or the roots of rock and roll is black.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you see a rock and roll show, people will be like all white people in that show, like listening to that songs. So I did a rock and roll song talking about this, like, yo, wake up, because we are fighting back. And then that's like just as it's different, is different like for people from when I put the like from to people that is not they don't listening to black music, they'll be like, oh my
100%. Yeah.
God, oh, wow, what she's, what she's talking. And then I like to play with this. Like I want to know what the music is talking about. If I have a romance in like music talking about love or someone who left, I don't need to think the music is a R&B or the music is a bossa nova. I want to know the lyrics, what the lyrics is saying, and then the lyrics will guide you to the place the music need to be, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can be something that, defines your uniqueness. You also mentioned a couple of questions that you've been asking yourself to understand, for example, let's say that the topic you wanted to focus on. What are some actionable things you did in the early days to make your persona stand out, to understand your thing?
I was just being myself. I wasn't thinking about my persona. Now, it's better if you have like your friends can tell how you are as a person, because you have your own, your own thoughts about yourself, but also people around you, they see how you are, how you act, how you walk, and you don't really pay attention on these things. So in the past, if I was thinking about my persona, the persona would be very, I see myself very, um, I am talkative, very talkative person. I'm very communicative, but also I'm shy. I'm like if I feel uncomfortable, I'll be like a kid. I'll talk, talk low. And then, but my friends, they see me in my comfort zone, or, they see, like, Luciane, your attitude is very, like, it's very strong. You are a strong woman. And I wasn't thinking this way. I was like, no, I'm not. I think I'm very, I think myself sometimes as a kid in the way that I'm playful, like I like to be kidding with my friends, and I'm very like happy to to play with them. And um but they see this, they see the happiness, the truly happiness as a kid in my heart. But they also see, like, Luciane, if you want to fight in the song, you're gonna fight. I'm like, I have like, oh, I can be like, I can sing a song very strong and then get loud. I wasn't thinking that I possibly can do it in the past. So my friend, they helped me to understand uh also who I am, you know, what they see on me.
Mm.
So for example, my music video Quanto Pesa, I have a big like iron thing in my head, and I used to perform with this in the stage. That was I was everything to me is about conversation. I have like long conversation with my partner in music, Ilarindo. And then he was, Luciane, you talk about banzo. Banzo uh, is a is a feeling of the slavers, and like feeling of like depression, feeling that you are not in your own land. So he was saying, "Oh, Luciane, you were talking about Banzo in your college," because I was talking to people about doing research about this, and also you talk about this in your music. But what Banzo means for you, if you need to describe Banzo visually? I was like, Banzo is something in my mind, because it's like the society just it's so hard to live here in Brazil. with all the racism, all the hate of, LGBT, like for like hate, people hating LGBT people, hating indigenous people, trying to push them away from their own land, all these things. Um, I wanna be able to be a person and straight, like stand like against things that I think are wrong, and the faces, all these things. So when I was thinking about the image of this, it's like in my mind I need to change my mindset. um so if my mind is colonized, this is the feeling about how I can survive. I can't do this because I'm black. I can't do that because I'm woman. I can't do all the stuff because I'm LGBTQ. No, you need to change your mindset. So when I was thinking about Banzo was depression. So of course you need to, treat this in like in the clinics to in everything. But like if I think about Banzo visually, was something covering my head. So the drummer was, Luciane, if you have this iron in your heart, these lines in your head, around your head, and then it is talking about this is like makes sense about your show, and then we have like a long talk, long conversation. I'm like, yo, it make a lot of sense. So we like he did this, he designed it, and we created together. And then first time I was shocked. I was like, no, my God, I love it, but I makes sense. Um I don't know if I can, have it in the stage. And he was like, try once, try, And then I was trying, I'm like, oh my God, this is me. This is like, if for myself, it's already there, and I feel like it makes sense, but I'm, in things that I'm creating musically. So if it was just me thinking about my career, um, I may design something different because
Mm.
I see myself in a different way. But since I have my partner in business, we discuss, we have like different visions. And then when we put it together, I'm like, oh, yeah, makes sense. In that situation, I was very strong, and I was, getting loud to fight against something that happened, in the street, someone trying to beat like a kid in the streets, or, I see myself as this person too. I can stand, I have this in my head, and then I'm like, you know, I'm taking, because we have this art, the meaning was to take it out during the show. So like the I'm taking care about mental. Like everything is like I can't, don't exist to me, or I'm trying to avoid this word because I think I can be wherever I want to be. I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want to do. I just need to study and fight for this, So the art in the show, we were taking the art out of my head, and that it was like I was free, I have my freedom. So this is like if I'm just myself doing this, I was like, I don't know what I was doing, what I was about to create. But since I have my partner, and also we're born in the same day. We are very, very, like very, very good people together.
Yeah.
It helps me to think about my persona too. But I'm talking this like for artists that I'm like are trying to find it. You need to think about yourself like deeply, but also listen to what people talk about you, because you see different things about yourself. You
Beautiful.
see your
Yeah.
strong, like yeah,
Yeah. I think it's really
your
important.
strength.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Mm.
you mentioned the important thing of believing in yourself as, as a first step, something very vital. Uh, what's one thing for you artists, Lucian, often overlook when developing uh, their persona, finding their own thing? Is there something you
Mm.
think they should, need to more focus on?
Um, I think it is important to read about the what you are singing or you know composing. Read about like read what what if you for example if you talk about love, read a lot about love, but not just the way to what you feel about love, but what in different countries people think about love, or you can see love. um you can express love in so many different ways. That's why I'm saying read about, listen to people talking about, like, do too much to okay, now I'm like, oh, now I think I'm safe. I'm very sure what I'm talking about. For
Mm,
example, in this album, I'm about to release an album this year, and we are like mixing it. Um, I, maybe the beginning of the second semester, but like I was talking about I was composing most of the songs during the pandemic, so it's a very sensitive um, music talking about like people who were into depression or anxiety. I was like during the pandemic, I was very anxious. So people taking medicines to go to sleep. This album is talking about these things. And I was reading a lot. I was talking to people, like sharing this to other. How was your feeling about this? How you felt like during that time, you know? And then I was having different responses about my mother felt this way, but people in my college they felt different way. Some people like to be alone, so some people don't want to be alone at all. It's just like, okay, how I can express this in an album, how I can talk about this, and also about craziness, because like a lot of people just lose their mind. Like also me, I was talking about myself too in the album, and then but I was wow studying a lot, listening to a lot of musics,
yeah.
seeing a lot of like movies too, like trying to understand about, okay, this is different. The feeling is different, but it's still, for example, if you are talking about love, it's still love. Or, oh, this is anxious. This is the, you know, it's all, it's just, I'm trying because there's a word in Brazil, it's like, I, I think in English it would be like do too much, exagere. I don't know, like, let me see, exagere. Oh, exaggerate,
Yes, yes.
exaggerate your studies
Mm,
to, to have your responses you can build your persona from that. You
beautiful.
see different things, you learn different things, you listen to more. And also, when we listen to more, we share more, you see that we have lots in common. We are weirdos, everybody, they, if you think about. So it's good if you share. Share that you have like different responses, and it can build something beautiful for yourself too, and also as a human beings.
Absolutely, yeah. Any
Mhm.
exercises, rituals, or mindset practices you would recommend for
Ritual.
artists trying to define themselves artistically? Maybe
Uh,
something you did in the past or still doing. Yeah, something you did in the
mhm.
past, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nowadays, I'm struggling with meditation because maybe I'm anxious to release my album, but do meditation. I have like here, even if I don't do meditation, I have my sense here. I did it yesterday, you know, burn it, try to think, have your mind quiet. Um, sometimes you can also listen to something that is completely different of your style. It's
Mm,
good too, because you see so many beautiful things and you can relax more, you know. Um, the reason I'm struggling with meditation is like my album is about to come. I'm sure that the day I release it, I'll be super okay. But before it's like, oh my God, it's hard to breathe. It's hard to do hard to be calm. But yesterday I had my sense. I was like, oh my God, I'll try. If I can't do 10 minutes meditation, I'll do two. I'll do 3 minutes. It helps me to focus. I think music is about focus. Don't lose your focus.
mm,
Even if it's hard to, oh my God, your agenda is hard. Write what you need to have, you know, what you're gonna do. Because if you don't write, if you don't have focus, you can forget, what is your thoughts sometimes. And maybe you have an amazing idea of what your persona is or what is your repertoire. And then if you don't focus, you lose it. And
yeah,
then you'll be, just day by day trying to find it when you already have.
yeah, absolutely.
Focus is the
100%.
key. Focus is definitely the key, though.
Yeah, and meditation is a wonderful
Oof.
exercise to do when it comes to, um, yeah, creating focus for yourself. Um,
Mhm.
what does authenticity mean to you, uh, Lucian? What does, being unique in today's musical landscape mean to you? And how
Mhm.
much is that important for independent artists trying to navigate the complex music industry?
Uh, uh, Being authentic, I said already, like be yourself for real. Uh, Believe yourself. It's not just be yourself, it's believe the power you have. Even if you think your music, oh, I release a song and less people are listening to, I don't know, we have 13 listeners. Do your music for these 13 listeners. Do your music uh like very, very yourself, like express yourself in the way that you can communicate with them, and then they will share this with, if the music is true, if it's unique, and they are feeling like what you are trying to say in your music, they're gonna share it for many people. And sometimes you don't know, but maybe you are creating a new genre. Why not? You know, maybe you have like 13 listeners, 100 listeners, because it's the beginning of a new era. Here in, like, for example, here in Rio we have funk carioca. Is a rhythm in the neighbors, like more into the hood more. And then like conservative people hate this genre. And this guy, when they are producing the musics, I saw people producing like with no computers, two cell phones recording this. Maybe the recording won't be good, but the music is talking about themselves in the way many others connect to this, and then it become a hit. You don't know. It may be something that what if you are super stressed about where your music needs to be, you lose what you have in your heart. This is
Mhm.
something. Um, because you are like stressing about what people are thinking about your song, what they like. Um, I don't think this is the right way. The right way is like do yourself, do whatever you want to do, believe in the process, be focused, have, partners, share, listen to more people also, but don't change what you are just because the industry's, you see something in the industry that is pop. Maybe you have like now you don't have many listeners because to be honest, people who have many millions and millions of listeners, it's very easy to have it if you have money. So some people just put money in the ads and they have millions and millions. But these people who have millions and millions, and they actually that people listening, if they are not robots, they are going to the show. Sometimes it's about this. Like sometimes you have 13 listeners and they are going to your show. Sometimes you have like 3 millions of listeners and maybe you don't have this 13 people, 100 people, going to the show. So don't think about numbers. Don't think about at all because I don't know. You are doing a music, a fusion. Maybe you are finding a new style, or if you don't stress a lot, you be more. I think like you be more proud of yourself and believe more in the process. But like take it easy. Focus. Focus is the key. If doctors don't have focus, they won't do surgeries, though they won't work. Everybody needs to to focus in their professional. Music is also about this and
Yes.
believe in the power you have in your hands.